Aha, there you are. Okay, let's get ready to bop. Welcome once again to Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. Oh, so much to catch up on tonight. Yes, a packed show actually. So welcome to Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. Here we are again on another Super Sunday. And of course, we could not go this week, unfortunately, without reacting to the Oscars. So that will be the topic. But of course, we also have This Day in Elvis History, live interactive poll. I think you probably know what the poll is going to be about. I wish Elvis had recorded Photoshop of the Week. Caption this photo. Yes, caption this photo. We always have a little bit of fun with that now. That's a new thing that I introduced a couple of weeks ago. Smoking hot photo as well. Yes, I've got a really, really good smoking hot photo for you. What else have I got? Oh yes, I've also going to start naming a Elvis channel that I recommend on YouTube. I'm gonna start that this week as well. So stick around for that. It's a particular YouTube channel which I watch myself, and I think that the people on here would probably like to watch it as well. So I would recommend it to you. And what I will probably do is I will put a link in the description box below to that channel as well. Save you trying to find it yourself. Just click on it and it'll take you to that. Congratulations on your new channel, Duncan. Brilliant. Yes, I was watching that. Very, very good. What else? You can call me free on WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook Messenger when I open the phone lines. They're not actually open yet. As you can see, it's 2:32 in Memphis. And this time next week, we will catch up with the US and it will go back to the normal hours of broadcast. It'll be 1:30 in Memphis, and I think it's 11:30 a.m. on the West Coast, and 1:30 in Memphis, and 2:30 on the East Coast, and something like that. Anyway, I will give you a heads up on the community tab when I figure out what the new times are when we move our clocks this day week. And I can't wait because it'll mean light evenings and so forth. And I have been suffering from quite a heavy cold this past week, and I've been blowing my nose and coughing a lot. You can probably see, maybe you can't see on the screen, but my nose is red raw from the wiping of the nose with the tissues and handkerchiefs. So do bear with me if I start sniffing or coughing or having to take a drink or so forth. So yeah, and another thing I've actually introduced is if you're on Facebook, if you follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and things like that, I always post the little banners every so often telling you what's coming up and so forth. And I've introduced a QR code which you can scan on your phone, and it'll take you straight to the YouTube channel. And I think this is the thing I can show you here. If you're not familiar, yes, here we go. Actually, hang on just a second. Just bear with me a second. Did you see that there? Did you see that? Let me just bring that back a little bit. That there, okay, is my home screen on my phone. Isn't it splendid? Isn't it a great home screen? I can't even talk this evening. So yeah, if you want to, a lot of you will be familiar with how QR codes work, but let me just show you here. What you do is you drag down from the top so you can go into your quick menu, your settings menu, and then you click on, obviously, scan QR code, and then you scan the QR code like that, and hit open link, and it'll take you to whatever link I've connected with that QR code. That just happens to be buy me a coffee. Actually, I've changed it. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I know St. Patrick's Day was on the 17th, which was Friday, but it's Happy St. Patrick's Day weekend. And I've changed it from buy me a coffee, as you can see up above, to buy me a beer. So if you want to go to buy me a coffee and buy me a beer or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Yeah, maybe not 5, because I'd be... I wouldn't be able to finish the show, folks. Isn't that what Elvis says when he... and that's the way it is when somebody offers him a martini and he says thanks, and then he goes, but I won't be able to finish the show, folks. So yeah, if you want to go to buy me a coffee and buy me a beer, and I've actually changed the little icon this week just for the week that's in it. When you go to the buy me a coffee page, it shows a little beer. So it would be most grateful, and I will raise a glass in your honor. Your honor. It's good for the sniffles. Anula, yes, beer is good for the sniffles, folks. Scan that QR code. Right, so yeah, thanks very much, of course, for all the messages you send me during the week, and all the emails and help and suggestions and photoshops, and I wish Elvis had recorded. Did I pick it this week, or was it somebody else? No, Nancy Walker. Hello, Nancy, if you're watching. It's your turn. You have picked a song for I Wish Elvis Had Recorded. How's about that? And as I say, I will be opening the phone lines shortly, probably after the quiz, so that you can comment on whether you think that, you can comment on the Oscar ceremony, the fact that we had 8 nominations, which is brilliant, which is really, really, really brilliant. The fact that we got 8 nominations says it all, but unfortunately, we walked away empty-handed. Oh, by the way, can you guess where I am? Does anybody recognize that backdrop? My pick is from down in the Gulf of MS. Oh, right. No, I thought for a minute there somebody was going to tell me what the pick was behind me. Okay, here we go. Elvis Austin says Days In. Banjo Paul says Your House. I wish. Heartbreak Hotel. No, Heartbreak Hotel, well, it's been knocked down now, but Heartbreak Hotel actually had a heart with a big crack down the middle of it. Heartbreak. So, Timothy Lee says Days In at Graceland. Yep. No, it's not the Elvis Guest House. No, it's not the Elvis Guest House. Too small for the Elvis Guest House. I actually stayed there. We actually stayed there when we went to Memphis. That was Old Memories Lane in Steve. Yes. Yeah. Mark Green says Days In. That's exactly where it is. It's just up the road from the mansion. Days In at Graceland. And you can actually see the front wall and the music gates from the breakfast room. No, not the Holiday Inn Bossa Nova. No. Afraid not. I swam in that pool. Yeah. Is it worth staying at the guest house? I don't know, Anthony, and I'll tell you the reason why is because I haven't stayed there. But I'm sure people can tell you on here who have stayed at the guest house, whether it is. Lou Dane says yes. All right. Don't forget your super chats as well if you want me to actually read out or address anything in particular. And you can also donate to the channel that way. And I think you do it by clicking the dollar sign at the bottom of the chat. Right. So we are going to do the Fan of the Month quiz. And I've got to tell you and show you what we are actually, or what you are playing for. And I do actually have a little photo, or a couple of photographs here of it. This is this week's prize. This month's prize. It's volume 5 of Elvis Hot Shots and Cool Clips. Okay, and no matter where you are in the world, it will play because it is it's version free or region free. And there's another shot of it, and Hot Shots and Cool Clips volume 5. So that's what we are playing for. And this week it is by Dylan says, I love that shot from the press conference. I love a lot of the photographs from the press conference because he looks just, It's hard to find a set of photographs where he does actually look better than August the 1st, 1969. If now, yeah, so it's backed by popular demand. Tracy says drop dead gorgeous. Yes, he is. Backed by popular demand, it is inside Graceland. So if Maxine, if you're ready, I haven't seen Maxine's name on the chat yet. Maybe she's tied up, because actually in the UK and Ireland it is actually Mother's Day today. I know it's different to America, I believe. I know Lou Dane is in the building, so Lou, you can help me out on this. And as I say, it's inside Graceland. I'm going to show you cropped pictures of a location in Graceland, and you've got to tell me where it is. And this is the first one coming up now, if I can find it. Here we go. Where in Graceland will you see this? Where do you think that is? I hope my girls remember what Graceland looked like when we went back in November. Hi, Marcy. Okay. A lot of people saying the pool room. I actually used the pool room for one of the first questions when I introduced Inside Graceland. Okay, so the right answer, believe it or not, is kitchen. Now that is very, very, very similar to the pool room. So I just need to ask Lou now. I hope maybe Lou, you were the first. No, Norset 45. Norset, you get this.
Well, then I'd like you to check my motor. It whistles.
I don't blame it.
Okay, I was going to change that. Somebody actually sent me in a clip and I was going to change it to that, but I didn't get round to it. But well done, Norset 45. 1 down, 5 to go. Where in Graceland is this? Dolores says kitchen. I think that's probably from the first question, isn't it? Okay. So I would have accepted either Den or the Jungle Room. And I believe the first person to type Jungle Room was Dylan Bowen. A very, very close second was Lou Dane that said Den. So, yeah, I think Lou is going to say that she was just pipped at the post. That's over by the back wall, isn't it? You can see that. You can see the air conditioner under the window. So, Dylan is saying, yes! Hawaii, Arkansas, Dave. How are you doing? Dylan, this is for you.
Well, then I'd like you to check my motor. It whistles.
I don't blame it.
Okay. Now, number 3 is this one. Where would you see that in Graceland? Anthony Berlanga says, everyone knows that's the Jungle Room. Yes, they do. Correct. I thought I'd slip an easy one in there, Anthony. Okay. Now, I would accept stairs or hallway with that, because that is the base of the stairs, the banister, and then there's like the walkway where you can walk down towards Gladys and what used to be Gladys and Vernon's bedroom. So Norset says we call it the foyer. Okay. So who was first with stairs or Banjo Paul? Arkansas Dave says Dylan B again. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay. I'm just looking to see Banjo Paul says hallway. So I'm going to, yes, Banjo Paul it is. Banjo Paul. Well done, Banjo.
Well, then I'd like you to check my motor. It whistles.
I don't blame it.
Okay. So that is the stairs or the foyer. This one here, I think people will get this very, very quickly. Where is this? In Graceland. I've got to keep the throat open. I'm suffering. Dylan says I'm stumped. Okay. So the correct answer there, and I'm seeing a lot of people saying this, is the living room. I was a bit cheeky there because this is taken from a photograph of Elvis sitting on the couch playing the guitar, and that is in the background. So I've cropped all that out and just put that there. So I just need to know now who said living room first. Lou Dane says Banjo Paul. Well done, Banjo. I thought I'd be clever by using an old photo. I don't know whether those lamps are still in the living room though today. I can't remember. It's been a few weeks since I actually studied a photograph of Graceland's living room today. Banjo?
Well, then I'd like you to check my motor. It whistles.
I don't blame it.
Banjo, you're going to be in the running by the looks of it for that DVD. Well, no, you are in the running for it. Not going to be. If you answer the question, if you're the first person to answer the question correct, then you're in the running for it. They are in the music room now, I believe. Okay, Elvis Austin, thanks. Although hi Daniel. Danny says, yes, the lamp is. Karen says, I don't think so. Right, now that's made me curious now. I'm going to look at a recent picture of the living room when I finish this show to see are they still in there. Banjo might have a hat trick. Yes. Gracie G says, I'm sneezing so big time. Yeah. I was sneezing a lot during the week. The sneezing, thankfully, touch wood, has gone off. It's just very sort of all in here now. And my nose is sore. Does everybody feel sorry for me? I know that a beer would help. Or 2, or 3, or 4. Okay. Right. Steve could be allergies. No, Tracy, it's definitely a cold. But I do suffer with allergies as well. I think the allergies are going to kick in the next few weeks, unfortunately. Blech. Right, here we go. 5 of 6. Where in Graceland is this? Easy one, folks. Very easy. Priscilla says, sending healing vibes, Steve. Thanks very much. Brandy, Steve. Yes, buy me a brandy. Not a beer. Buy me a brandy. Okay. Yeah, so easy. Look at all those TV rooms. Yeah, TV room is right. How you wouldn't know that, I don't know. TV room, television room. Okay. So Dave says Norset 45. Just waiting for Lou to confirm that. Yeah. So I better give you this to Norset.
Well, then I'd like you to check my motor. It whistles.
I don't blame it.
There is so far Norset 45 2, Banjo 45, Banjo Paul 2, and Dylan Bowen 1. So congratulations to everybody so far that's been first. And this could be a decider tonight, couldn't it? Where in Graceland is this? Does anybody know where that is? I'm watching very closely. Wow. Okay. The first person that has typed Gladys's bedroom or Gladys's room is the correct answer. I see Scorpio Guy has Gladys's bedroom, Little Sister, Deb H, Edwidge, and Y says me. Not sure what that means. Jenny, yeah, Gladys's bedroom. His mum's room. I would have accepted his mum's room, actually. Norset 45. Wow, Norset, you have drawn level with Banjo Paul. So tonight it's neck and neck. 2 to Norset. No, 3 to Norset. I beg your pardon. I can't count. 3 to Norset, 2 to Banjo Paul, and 1 to Dylan Bowen. Well done, folks. And congratulations to everybody that got the question right. Even if you weren't the first, I do see a lot of the names coming in and you getting it right. So that's Inside Graceland. And we'll do another quiz next week. And hopefully it'll be a bit lighter this time next week. It's dark outside at the moment. So, yeah, this time next week we'll have moved our clocks forward and the show will be back at the normal time in the US. Right, now, still to come is Photoshop. I wish Elvis had recorded. A poll, of course. A smoking hot photo. Caption this photo. I'm also going to tell you what this week's I Recommend Elvis channel from YouTube is going to be. And I've got some new photos to show you as well. A couple of new photos that sprung up this week. New photos that maybe people might not have seen before. I know a lot of you will have seen them by now because they were all over Facebook and in the Instagram, Twitter, all over the shop. But just in case you haven't seen them, I thought I'd show them as well. So stick around for those. I think it's 3 photos actually. Right. I was the first with Gladys's bedroom and why. I will check that. I will check that on replay because I always watch the quiz back in case there's a steward's inquiry, as they call it, or something like that. So, and why I will look if that's okay. Right. So, as I say, we could not go without, and I'm going to find that, yeah, here it is. We could not go without addressing this. And this is the Oscars-Snub. Was it the Oscars? The fact that we were nominated 8 Oscars. Unfortunately, Elvis, the movie, Baz Luhrmann's movie, didn't pick up 1 award, unfortunately. Now, okay, it didn't pick up any Oscars, but it's already got, somebody said actually in the chat earlier on, that it's got over 50 awards anyway. I don't know whether that's right. I haven't counted them all up. But it has, I mean, we know it's got the Golden Globe and BAFTAs. And so it's not like it hasn't received any awards. It just hasn't received any Oscars. But what I wanted to really find out was, do you think that it was a snub or was it a reality check? I actually asked people to give me some of their opinions, and there was a lot of comments this week when I asked that, was it a snub or a reality check? What did you think? So I obviously I can't read them all out, but I'll read some selected ones. Jimmy Run Forever says, hardly surprising that a movie that was entertaining and visually stunning and did well at the box office didn't get any Oscars. Of course, that's tongue-in-cheek. In a world where box ticking was taken over from actual talent, not to take anything away from Brendan Fraser, I haven't seen the movie, but by all accounts, it's a heart-wrenching human story about a man racked by regret, remorse and poor health. It's more or less the same story as Elvis. Good point. But Brendan's portrayal was, I believe, a fictional character. Yes, I think it was. Elvis's story had its moments of drama, but there was anything it portrayed, the phenomenal rise and fantastic life and legacy that was and is Elvis Presley. Austin Butler can hold his head high and be proud of the work that he put in to bring the man, the myth and the legend of Elvis back to the forefront of mainstream entertainment. Hazel says, he doesn't need man's acknowledgement. He only ever wanted the film fans to remember him. And after 46 years, we the fans have and always will do. I truly believe that is what he would be happy about. Yes, I agree. Elvis Lass, hi Michelle. Absolutely gutted, not surprised with some of the nominations, but extremely surprised with hair, makeup and costume not getting an award. Yeah, I mean, you could say, okay, right, Brendan deserved the Best Actor over Austin, but what about those hair and makeup? And what about the editing and cinematography, stuff like that? Alan Groom, disappointing, but not the end of the world. I agree, Alan. But I think Elvis, the Ultimate Fan Channel, deserves an Oscar. Thanks, Alan. Elvis was not Elvis was not nominated. The movie portraying him was. That's a huge difference. That's by somebody who I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, so I'm not even going to try. But thanks for that. TCB Mike says, I've lost what little respect I had left for Hollywood. Dylan Bowen, hi Dylan, I know you're on here, says, gutted. I kind of knew Brendan was going to win Best Actor, but I'm really surprised that we didn't get at least Best Costume. Yeah. Karen Tranter says, hi Steve, very disappointed, but does it really matter? Again, good point. It doesn't take away from our love of the film and how it makes us feel when we watch it. Austin said himself that the president's acknowledgement was the best he could ever ask for. Austin has brought Elvis to the young fans. Yes. Austin, you are a winner. Loretta says Hollywood never understood Elvis and they never will. Okay. Joy Lang. Think about it. Maverick didn't even hardly place and it was a top box office hit. Billions of dollars. That's a good point. Valvis says Elvis Movie Award wins. Golden Globe. Best Actor, 4 BAFTA Awards, 11 ACTA Awards, Australia, People's Choice Award Drama Movie Star of 2022, Palm Springs International Film Festival Breakthrough Performance, New York Film Critics Online Award Breakthrough Performer, Santa Barbara International Film Festival Virtuoso Award, and 2 ACTA International Awards, Australia. So Valvis is listing out there some of the awards, so it's not like we are empty-handed. Nita Sheehan says, I didn't believe Hollywood would give Elvis an Oscar. Elvis is a southern white boy and the woke mob favourite whipping boy. I haven't watched it for years, didn't watch it this year, and never will again. Okay, fair enough. And I think I'll finish with Miles High's comment here. This is the one that kind of sums it all up. And he says, at first I was mad, but now I realise it doesn't really matter. The movie did great on its own without any awards. Basically, the Oscars are now a marketing tool that is used to help promote more ticket sales and more profit. Elvis forever. So, yeah, Miles, I think you could be right there. I think you could be right. So, with no more to do, I will, if anybody is interested, they can ring me free on WhatsApp, Instagram, and Messenger. And how do I do this? Yes, I do that. So and let's see. Yeah, there you go. That tells you that the phone lines are open. Wow, that was quick. That was very quick. Hello.
Hello, Steve.
Duncan, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, Steve. You don't sound as good. Are you okay?
Yeah. Just a little bit of it's only a cold. But I was trying to tell, my family that's man flu and I could go down at any time, but they just told me it was a sniffle,
Yeah, we do appreciate you still doing the live, though, Steve.
Thanks very much.
You're feeling rough.
Struggling on. So, what would you like to say?
Comment on the Oscars and the Elvis movie.
Yeah.
Yes, really disappointed that it didn't pick up any Oscars, as people have said, even if it was makeup, etc. But what we need to not lose in the midst of all of that is the impact that movie has had worldwide for Elvis. The fact that people he's centre stage again. People are talking about him beyond regular Elvis fans. It's put him on that stage again. He's been spoken of in a more respectful way by the media at large, I think, than he was before.
Yeah, I mean, what big difference would it have made if they'd have won some Oscars? I mean, the film has been out since last June anyway.
That's right.
You know, everybody that was going to go and see it has already been to see it. It's no longer running in the theaters anyway. So even if one of the Oscars, you know, one of the categories had have won, what difference would it have made?
Yeah, exactly. The fact that it's been as received as well as it had the impact that it was designed to have, which I would argue is a more lasting impact for Elvis than one golden statue would be, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And I think when you look back at Elvis's career, I don't think the Hollywood elite ever looked favourably on Elvis. I almost feel as if they looked their nose down at him because he came from the wrong side of the tracks, if you like.
I'm so glad you said that, because I felt that way for years. You know, in the 60s, we know how Hollywood treated Elvis in the 60s, and I think this is just a carryover.
And I think it also speaks to what Elvis the man was like. Unlike much of Hollywood, no matter how famous and big he became, he was still a genuine human being who cared for his fans.
Yes.
He didn't play the Hollywood game.
No, he definitely
didn't play the stardom game that so many do, and that, in a sense, makes him so much more than the Hollywood elite, so much more than the Oscars. I think that makes sense.
I think the Hollywood merry-go-round made him feel uncomfortable, if the truth be told.
Oh, very much so. You don't see that many photographs of him hanging out with famous people.
No.
You see the odd one with people who that came to his shows, etc. You see the particularly his Vegas opening, 69. You see some photos, but he wasn't at the Hollywood parties and the famous parties every weekend. Not the way other stars were.
A lot of the photographs taken during the 60s of him meeting fellow artists were taken on backlots and movie studios, non-location, and things
while
like
he was
that.
at work. It wasn't socialising.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it speaks volumes about what he was like as a person, that he didn't get drawn into all that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Duncan. All right, so
nice to talk to you, Steve.
I'm going to open the poll now, so you can vote on that. I meant to do that before the first call, but you kind of caught me sort of unawares. Okay,
no problem.
Cheers.
Thanks, Steve.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I think my Google Assistant, I must have said something about "Hey Google" or something and set it off. Right, here we go. Hi, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel? Hello.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, let's do that poll, will we? Let's have a look here now. Hello, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel?
Hello, Steve.
Hi, Dylan.
Yep.
How are
you? Slightly annoyed.
Well, you're slightly annoyed. Okay, go on.
Well, I think we all kind of knew that Brendan was going to win Best Actor, but for him not to win Best Set Design, Best Makeup, Best Costume, I mean, come on, it's a rip-off. Because, I mean, I no disrespect to the whale, but Brendan was in a t-shirt and jeans like the whole time. Austin was in a jumpsuit, a full leather outfit, like floral shirts, jackets. He was in a bunch of costumes which were designed amazingly, and yet we don't win. Like, how?
So, I mean, you can understand then Brendan winning maybe the Best Actor, but things like, you know, the costumes and the hair and maybe cinematography and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, I don't get it. Like Duncan made some very good points. Like, Hollywood has never respected Elvis.
Yeah.
Like, even when he was alive.
Well, you remember the famous quote that Elvis did somewhere in the mid-60s, round about the mid-60s? He says, "I know that Hollywood is laughing at me."
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, he knew it, but yet, I mean, like, this is how shows how good Elvis is, right? Because he would have said, "I'm done with the movies," but yet he carried out his duties because he knew that he was, still obligated. So because he had the power, say round about 66, say he says I'm done, he could have just walked out of that contract, but he knew that he still had to do it. So he
Well, I
he did
mean,
it.
yeah, I don't think that Elvis would have broken any contract because he was very, very loyal person, wasn't he? Once he put his name to something, he would honor
That was
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that shows how gracious he was as well.
Mhm.
And same with Austin, Austin was very gracious about Brendan winning because he even said he deserves it, and the performance that he put in was one of the best of the year. But I think kind of deep down, Austin awards don't matter.
Well,
Really.
I mean, it's got plenty of awards anyway. I mean, I read out the list there before I started taking phone calls, and I mean, there was an awful lot of awards that the movie has got anyway.
Yeah, and so it shows that it was a good movie.
Yes, well, 8 nominations shows that it was a good movie. As I said to Duncan, would it have made any difference? The die has already been cast. I mean, the movie has been out now over what, 9 months, maybe more, isn't it now?
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to talk about real quick was Agent Elvis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to bring that up later. Has anybody watched Agent Elvis? Because we'll be covering that. We'll be covering that probably next week, actually. You can say what you're going to say though. Yeah.
Yeah, because I watched the whole series.
Okay. Well, just let everybody know there's 10 25-minute episodes of Agent Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
And you watched all 10. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw all 10 in a space of 5 hours, I think.
Okay.
And I've got to say, it is hysterical.
Okay.
It's absolutely, it's hysterical. I've got to say that.
Do you think it will appeal more to the younger fans then than the older fellas like myself?
That's what I was thinking. I was going, this is definitely his target audience.
Yeah.
People like me, who's young and all that kind of stuff. We like gore and we like violence, and older people, I don't know if older people don't like it, but I loved it. And I just gotta say, Scattered the Monkey is the best thing in it. That I gotta say.
What do you think of the profanity? There's a lot of swearing in it, isn't there? But I mean, is that sort of, is that just to add realism to it?
That's what young people want.
Well, yeah, okay.
They want Elvis to be portrayed not in a disrespectful way, but I think they brought him up to date with this thing.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for so you would vote yes then if I did a poll on Agent Elvis, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, just let everybody know, I've just actually put the poll up as well. Oscars for Elvis, snub, reality check, or none needed to validate the movie. Okay. So you can probably vote on that when you get off this call, if that's okay, Dylan.
Yeah.
All righty.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah, so as I was talking to Dylan there, I put up the poll, which we're asking to vote on this week, which is basically Oscars for Elvis. Was it a snub? Was it a reality check? Or is there none needed to validate the movie? Hi, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel? Hello?
Steve, how you doing?
Hey, is that Steve, yeah?
It's Steve in Toronto. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing very well. Nice to speak to you.
Good. Back at you. Anyways, I say reality check.
Okay.
I thought the movie was garbage.
Oh, okay.
Elvis would have shot the screen out. He would have beat Baz up, the whole kit and caboodle.
What do you think he would have? What do you think he would have been offended or annoyed by in the movie?
The way they portrayed Mom, Dad, him, all that.
Okay,
that's what I think. So,
people
were left out of the movie?
Oh yes, yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you think that he would have been offended by the way his mother's drinking was portrayed?
100%. Apparently she was a beer drinker, not a hard liquor drinker. The Vernon, I never even heard of him having a drink, to be honest. And I'm a huge fan since I was a kid. You and I are about the same age. I've read dozens of books. I've never heard that before. So, and him using the Lord's name in vain on his mother.
Oh,
no,
yeah. Yeah,
no,
I know a lot of people took offense at that. I actually do disagree with you. I do actually disagree with you a little bit. I heard that Vernon was a drinker.
Wow. I don't know where you heard that. Never heard that.
I think it might. I think
corrected though. Otherwise,
yeah. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. We might have to check this, Steve. But I think it might have been the Alana. I can't even say it. Alana Nash book. You know, the Revelations of the Memphis Mafia. I think I remember.
I have that book.
Yeah, I'll have to check that.
Okay. You know what? Apparently, Vernon had one bad accident in Germany, and I think 59, and that may have been alcohol related. May have been. So I don't know. I'd have to look into that.
He was with.
Otherwise, I've never heard of him drinking. He was with some woman.
He was with Elvis's secretary, I believe. Elvis's secretary, Elizabeth.
That sounds. Yeah, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yes. Whose book is sitting right in front of me.
And Elvis got a little bit upset and actually pulled Elizabeth to one side and said, "What were you doing to my daddy to make him crash?" He was very suspicious that maybe there was some misdoing going on while they were driving.
Right. Apparently, Elvis paid hush money, and that was it for the story.
Yeah.
If I recall.
Okay.
May have been alcohol related. Can't say for sure. So who knows? But again, I say reality check.
Reality check. Okay.
We were not impressed with the movie. Absolutely.
Okay. Alrighty. Right, Steve. Thanks very much indeed.
Where it's at this week. Steve, good talking to you.
Thanks. Bye. Bye-bye.
Enjoy the day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Will do. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, Steve really made his feelings felt there, didn't he? He says he thought it was a reality check because the movie was, I think, did he say trash? I think he did. Hello,
Steve. It's Mark.
Hey, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thanks. You?
Yeah, great. Just a little cold. You probably heard I have a little cold.
Yeah, I've heard you got a you're still here, though, lucky trooper.
Yeah. So, what do you think on this poll?
Last week I did kind of say it'd be nice if we could get 1 to 3, but in my heart I didn't expect it. To be honest with you, I thought if we did get something, it would be great. But in my thought, it doesn't need to win an Oscar. The film has won over what it needed to do. Yeah,
and the amount of box office as well.
Yeah, well, it's probably the longest film on the cinema at the time in June. It ran way into the end of July, beginning of August.
Mm-hmm.
It's done fantastic on the obviously sales and everything else afterwards, and it's done what it's had to do, hasn't it? And obviously, it's already won the Golden Globe, and stuff like that, and it's brought younger fans to Elvis. It's got us all talking about Elvis again, and all the people who are big Elvis fans as well. It's brought everyone together. So it doesn't need an Oscar. Kind of agree. It's a shame. One thing, it'd be nice if it did win one of the Oscar for the memory of Lisa, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
In that way as well. It'd be nice to say, it could have won that for her, but she's not going to be disappointed. She saw the film, she saw how good Austin was, and I'm sure she knows it was portrayed quite well and good for in her father's name. So, but you
can imagine how surprised I was last week when I found out, because I didn't even factor in that it wouldn't win anything on the poll. I didn't put I didn't put none because I truly believed it would win something. If it did, even if Austin didn't win the actor, just like cinematography or hair and makeup, something.
Or the costume,
costumes.
Something like the costume. I am surprised something like the costume didn't win, because there's a hell of a lot of costume in the film. The costume changes were fantastic. From the 50s all the way to the end. So I am surprised at that. I think he should have won one. I didn't really think Austin would win the actor. I really didn't think so. But, I think it'd been a hard push for that one. But, yeah, but definitely one for the the
Well, a lot
costumes
of people
and
said last
stuff.
week they didn't think he would win the Oscar. It was probably Brendan Fraser had already got it sewn up, but it'll win something.
Yeah. So they talk about Elvis in Hollywood and all that. Yeah, they didn't see him the way that they should see him, and Elvis knew that. I always think to myself though, Elvis could have won an Oscar if he'd have done Star Is Born.
Yeah.
I'll still say if he'd have took that film and it had done as well as Chris Christopherson, if not better, I think that could have really changed the whole opinion of Elvis in the movie land world, as they say. You know what I mean? But it didn't happen. It's a shame.
Yeah. Well,
it'll
always be one of those could have beens.
I heard a little bit of information. I don't know if you've heard, and the fans Baz saying that he's going to release a DVD 2 hours long of all Austin Butler's performances of Elvis.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Yeah, so I don't know whether that's going to be planned for Christmas or.
That's where the In the Ghetto probably comes from, is it?
Yeah, I think so. You're looking at a 2 hour performance, so it might be all the cuts of the songs that he did and stuff like that.
Mm.
So, and obviously he's taking the show on the road as a theatre show.
Right.
So yes, that's the two little things that have come out.
Yeah. We'll have to look out for that.
Yeah, I just think it's just a shame that the on tour stuff has took a backhand, but I think it's about making money as well, isn't it? And I think he knows that people will be interested to see the extra stuff from the movie itself, won't they? So
very good. Well, thanks for that information, Mark. Thanks a lot. Mate. All right,
no problem.
All the best.
Okay, cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Something else I just thought of actually while Mark was talking was, a lot of classic films didn't win Oscars, and to this day they're still, lovingly watched again and again and again, but they failed to win Oscars. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hello there. I think that is Brian, is it?
Yeah, BP Monkman.
Hey, how are you, Brian?
I'm doing good. It's really funny. I'm watching YouTube on my computer. I just got a new TV. Remember I told you my other TV went on the blink?
Yeah.
But it's lagging behind, like the video when I'm watching you. It doesn't even, you're still talking before you, that's the thing to do with the internet and everywhere, the way it runs and all that stuff, the fiber optics.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I think it doesn't matter either way. I mean, I was watching, did you see that interview that I sent you the link to of Billy Stanley about that book he wrote?
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I must admit.
It's called The Faith of Elvis. Only a story only a brother can tell.
Okay.
And he was asked in 3 or 4 different interviews what he thought of that movie. He says he wasn't impressed by it. He said Elvis would not have cursed at his mother that way.
Yeah, well, I must admit, I was surprised when I saw that on the film, him saying "God damn" and all that to his mother.
Yeah, he wouldn't have done that because he was a good Christian boy, and they didn't take a look at his spiritual side. He was a Christian. There's no doubt about that. And you got to get an interview with Billy Stanley. He's one of the few people in the Elvis world that's still alive. Mm-hmm. He wrote this book. He had a heart attack, a stroke, and a seizure in 2018, and he had a near-death experience, but he called it a near-God experience.
Okay.
And you got to watch the interviews. You got to watch the interviews before you even try and line up an interview with him.
Okay. All right.
Have you heard of all the Elvis tribute artists all over the world? Have you heard of all of them?
I mean, I know there's thousands and thousands of them.
Have you ever heard of Corny Rempel?
No, I must admit I haven't.
He's a local boy here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and he's also a DJ on a radio station here, and he interviewed Billy Stanley.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's that's something to watch, and I'm actually going to get that book from the library here.
All right.
From our local library, because it looks like a good read.
Okay, well, when I get a chance, I will watch that link that you sent me with the interview anyway.
All right, and try and line up an interview with him yourself. I think people would love to hear this.
All right, okay.
because he speaks nothing but positivity about Elvis,
Right.
and takes a look at his general. Too, he has more stories to tell about Elvis than you've ever heard.
Okay. Right. Okay, Brian, thanks very much.
All right, you're welcome.
All the best.
And love your channel.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Right, yeah, so the poll is still open. Oscars for Elvis, question mark. Was it a snub? Was it a reality check? Or was none needed to validate the movie anyway? I know a lot of people feel that way. And I myself think, would it have made any difference whether we won any Oscars? The movie is what it is. It's done its job, i.e. it's put Elvis's name back out there. It's turning on new fans, younger fans as well. So, okay, I suppose really at the end of the day, the Oscars would have been the icing on the cake, the cherry on the top. But it wouldn't have made any true difference to the outcome of what we already know. I was going to say something else, but I can't remember, and it'll probably come to me. Still to come, Elvis history, this day in Elvis history. Caption this photo. And we also have a smoking hot photo. And we have a song I wish Elvis had recorded. And I've got some photographs to show you, some new photographs that made their way to the surface this week. 3 of them, I believe there is. And also a YouTube channel that I personally would recommend that you watch. That's something that I thought of during the week. And I will, as long as I can anyway. It might only be 6 or 7 channels, so this might only last for 6 or 7 weeks. But I will name a different one every week, recommend it to you, maybe drop the link to the channel in the in the description box below. And speaking of which, I would just like to say that bottom right hand corner, please do subscribe and click the bell. It does help. The more subscribers, the more people obviously see these videos. And what we're trying to do with this channel is to spread the Elvis world and be positive. You won't find any negativity or not from me anyway, about Elvis. It's all the good side of Elvis on this channel. We're going to, let's have a look now. What's that? Oh yeah, I wonder what that was. We're going to do this day in Elvis history before I do those other things. And you can still call me, of course, on WhatsApp, free Messenger and Instagram if you want to discuss the Oscars, snub or reality check. And I've got some great pictures for this day in Elvis history. And 1954, March the 19th. By the way, March the 19th is a very, very big day in Elvis history. And you'll know why when I get to 1957. Okay, 1954, Elvis left Precision Tool where he was not happy with either the work or the razzing he was being forced to put up with because of the length of his hair. 1955, Elvis performed at KRPC TV and then the Grand Prize Jamboree Eagles Hall in Houston, Texas. 1956, yep, here we go. Elvis performed at the Township Auditorium, Columbia, South Carolina. And there was a big write-up about it in the local papers. And there is the write-up. Now, yes, of course, 1957. What more can we say? Elvis went to see the home his parents found earlier that week. He made a $1,000 deposit toward its purchase for himself and his parents. It was, of course, Graceland. And there is an early shot of Graceland. By the looks of it, the looks of those trees, they're not much more than saplings, are they? Maybe a little bit bigger than saplings, but that would have been taken in the 1940s by the looks of it. So that's 1940s Graceland. However, here's an aerial shot. I'm sure many of you have seen this shot before of Graceland. And I would imagine that it was taken just before or just after Elvis bought it. looking at it anyway. You can see that looking closely, there's no lions on the pedestals at the front entrance. You can see Vernon's office out back. You can see the meditation garden, or what would become the meditation garden. It was just that curved half-moon wall. You can also see Dolan Drive, top right, that isn't even complete. It's an incomplete Dolan Drive. And I've indicated roughly, and I will say roughly, where Vernon's house now stands. And it was built in 1964, 1266 Dolan Drive. That's so I always find that photograph fascinating because, as I say, it's maybe just before or just after Elvis moved in and bought the house. From the looks of it, there's no leaves on the trees, so maybe it is sort of March, April time. It's probably a photograph taken by a newspaper once they got wind that Elvis was looking at the house, or they had bought the house. And of course, as we know, it was on this day in 1957. So I like that. And comparing it today, so there's we think probably 1957 aerial shot of Graceland. We've got Graceland today, and we see obviously Graceland Mansion, middle right. We see the meditation garden, and there's the back of Vernon's house today. So you can see that there's the 1957 aerial shot with Vernon's house, and then we have today. So that was this day in 1957. 1960, Elvis rented the Rainbow Roller Dome for a roller skating war with the guys. Yeah, there he is in 1960. 1961, Elvis did a telephone interview with Hawaii music promoter Tom Moffat. He was a DJ as well, wasn't he, Tom? In advance of the Block Arena benefit concert for Pearl Harbor Memorial. 1962, Elvis stayed the night at the Anchor Hotel in Nashville and went into the studio again from 7:30 to 2 a.m. and recorded 4 songs. I Feel Like I've Known You Forever, Just Tell Her Jim Said Hello, Suspicion, and She's Not You. That was on this day in 1962. Of course, we then have 1964. We have Fun in Acapulco. And there is it looks like he's studying the script there in the studio. And then we have Roustabout in 1964. We have Hear 'em Scare 'em on this day in 1965. Spin Out in 1966. And then we have, in 1967, there was an Easter radio broadcast of selections from Elvis's How Great Thou Art album. I don't know whether it was an Easter radio broadcast, because Easter would have been very, very early if it was on this day in March. It says, hear Elvis sing How Great Thou Art and other selections from his new RCA Victor Sacred album on Sunday, March 19th, 1967. Radio stations everywhere. Oh, it is. It says, observing the Easter season, Elvis's How Great Thou Art now at your record dealer. That was like a promotional postcard. I'm not sure what was on the front. Probably a picture of the album, I would imagine. That was on this day in 1967. 1968, Live a Little, Love a Little, with the gorgeous Michelle Carey. Change of Habit, of course, principal photography. Then we have 1972, Elvis is in Las Vegas for a 5-day vacation. 1973, Jesse D. Presley, Elvis's grandfather, died of a heart attack in Louisville. Elvis did not attend the funeral. 1974, Elvis performed at the... Oh, I have photographs. Elvis performed at the Middle Tennessee State University Athletic Center, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And there's some photographs from that concert. I don't know how many there is. I can't remember. I think it's 4 or 5. There's a nice back shot. Ladies, attention ladies. Yeah, that's them. Right. And then 1975, Elvis did he did, let's see, he did dinner and midnight Vegas shows. 1976, photographs again. We have Elvis performed at the Freedom Hall Civic Center, Johnson City, Tennessee. Some really, really nice shots from 1976. Looks like the V-neck suit. In fact, I'm almost certain it's the V-neck suit. There you are. Yes, it is. You can clearly see the V-neck there. Okay, right. That includes, or that concludes this day in Elvis history. Coming up are those new photographs that surfaced this week. Caption this photo. Yes, that's right. Caption this photo. Don't forget, as I said at the start of the show, I'm now including QR codes for every time I post. If you're new to this channel and you do follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and when I post a call out, a call to action to say what I'm going to be doing this week on the channel, or time changes or anything like that, there is actually going to be a QR code on that. And basically what you can do, if you're not familiar with QR codes, you go to your phone, you find your QR scanner on your phone, and then what you do is you select the QR scanner, obviously, and you scan the QR like that from wherever you can see my call to action, open the link, and it'll take you straight to this channel. So I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible for people to find this channel, to be honest. Caption this photo. Yes, this is it. It was this one, a delectable one taken probably in a lunchroom or somewhere like that of Paramount when Elvis was making King Creole. And it's let's have a look now. Caption this photo. I picked my favorite. And but some of them were, now you know what I do for an encore. That's him talking really to Sophie Loren, saying that. She's saying, "Stop it, Elvis, they're taking our photo." It's called rubbernecking, and that's all right with me. I'm not repeating what he said, but he's tickling my ear. Sophie Loren is saying that. But my favorite is from Puma Gutton. And it's Elvis says, "Sophia, I'm stuck on you." And Sophia says, "Well, I told you not to use the super glue as lip balm." So that's my favorite. And we'll be doing another Caption This photo next week. And if you go to the community tab on this channel, it'll show you that. There's the community. I better get rid of that first, hadn't I? The caption. So there's the community tab, and if you leave your caption, and also if there's other captions there and you pick one you like, then give it a thumbs up, and I will either give the award to the one that's got the most thumbs up or the one that I like the most. There wasn't that many thumbs up this week, so I picked Puma Guttons as the favorite. Don't forget, you've still got a chance to vote on this poll. Oscars for Elvis, ? Was it a snub? Was it a reality check? Or was none needed to validate the movie and validate Elvis's, Austin's performance, basically? We're going to do a song I wish Elvis had recorded, if I can find the details on that. This is really a song that... no, we're not. I'll do Photoshop first. Because that's what I've got here on my screen. And this is basically Elvis and Priscilla in a kitchen somewhere, and she looks like she's doing the laundry, and he is showing her something in the newspaper. But of course, it's not. This is the original. Okay, so they're side by side. You can see that the people are completely and utterly different, and they've put a... you can actually clearly see where they've actually put Priscilla's face on the lady's face, and they've sort of tried to blend in the hair, but it just doesn't work. And then, of course, Elvis, and they put a beard on Elvis. There's a lot of beard photographs going around with Elvis at the moment, where a photograph of Elvis with no beard, and then they're photoshopping a beard on him. Anyway, that's this week's Photoshop of the week. If you find any, or you see any Photoshops, because there's a lot of them going around, but if you actually see Photoshops, send them in to me, and I can feature them on a future show. I wish Elvis, a song I wish Elvis had recorded. If you going about your daily business, you hear a song and you think, oh, if only Elvis had recorded that, I reckon he'd have made a good job of that. Then send it in to me, send all the details and who did the song, and maybe I can have a look at it. But this one was suggested by Nancy Walker. It's a pop song adapted from a film score written by Ritz Ortolani and Nino Olivero for the 1962 Italian documentary film Mondo Cane. Ortolani and Olivero originally composed the melody as an orchestral arrangement that served as the film's theme music. The original lyrics were Italian and were adapted into English by Norman Newell. It has since become a pop standard. It has been covered by many artists, including Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Ricky Nelson, Roy Orbison, and Glenn Campbell. But the version Nancy has chosen is sung by Andy Williams. And it comes from the 1964 album, the Academy Award-winning Call Me Irresponsible and other hit songs from the movies. The song is called More. And if you're not familiar with the song, as I always do every week, I'll leave a link below so that you can click on it and it will take you to the song that Nancy has picked. I hope you're checking out these I Wish Elvis Had Recorded songs, because it gives you maybe an idea of what we missed, maybe. Some opportunities maybe that Elvis missed by not recording these songs, because as Elvis fans, if we're thinking we wished he'd have recorded them, then they definitely would have been a hit, wouldn't they? So let's see, Smoking Hot, people. Yes, and I'm going to do these 3 new photographs as well in a minute. You've still got time to vote on the poll. Snub, reality check, or none needed to validate the movie. The Oscars I'm talking about. This is the Smoking Hot photo. And it's that one there. Now, if he was looking at you like that, ladies, what would you... what would you think? Yeah. I'm going to have a drink because my throat is starting to dry out. Yes. Puma Gutton says sung by Andy Williams. Did I say it was sung by Andy Williams? I think I did, yeah. Thank you. Wonderful song. Okay, Edward says sexy. Linda says, oh yes, thud. Mrs. EAP says thud thud. Dolores is going to pass out. Come over here, I want you. I'd better run. Gracie says, oh, he's so cute. Yeah. He is looking at you, Steve. Uh-oh, Miles. No, he's not. He's definitely not looking at me. Actually, looking at his eye line, he looks like he's looking at buy me a coffee or buy me a beer. Don't forget, scan the QR code or go to the link in the description box and you can buy me a beer for St. Patrick's Day. It would be very, very much appreciated. And it'd help me get over this cold, because I could be in the danger zone. No, I don't think so. So that's the Smoking Hot photograph. These are the photographs I was on about that surfaced over the last few days, and they were taken in the army, and they were taken, by the looks of it, in Germany. And here's the first one, and he is, by the looks of it, reading a Peanuts cartoon book, because when I blew that up, you could actually see Peanuts on the front of that book. And there's another one here. And then finally, there's one here, and somebody is giving him a light. He's lighting either a cigarette or maybe even a cigar, which is kind of it always brings out that, well, but Elvis didn't smoke, people. And of course, we know that Elvis did smoke. He smoked cigars, cigarillos, cigarettes, very occasionally a pipe. There is a photograph of him and Janelle McComb, and he is smoking a pipe. So, yeah, I'll just show you those again, in case you didn't see them. I'm sure most of you have seen these during the week on social media. But there he is reading his Peanuts book. And there, and finally getting a light. And I wanted to say that an Elvis YouTube channel that I recommend is, and actually I spoke to the owner of this channel earlier on, and people were mentioning it in the comments as well. It's Some Old Elvis Guy by our friend Duncan Campbell. He started up a channel of his own, and as I say, it's called Some Old Elvis Guy, and I've been watching it. He's only got a couple or 3 or 4 videos at the moment, but I would definitely recommend that to you, and I will leave the link in the description box so that you can click on that and go to Duncan's channel. He did one of the yesterday. I was watching it yesterday. The Camden albums, very, very good, very, very accurate information, very enjoyable. And as I say, Some Old Elvis Guy, Duncan Campbell, who is a great supporter of this channel. And that is the channel, that is the Elvis channel that I'm going to recommend to you this week. And I will recommend another Elvis channel to you next week. So we better close the poll. I think I've done everything, haven't I? Because I wanted to make sure that I did that recommendation on the channel. I've done the army shots. Let's have a look at those army shots again, just in case you missed them. So there's Elvis reading Peanuts. There he is again. And finally, getting a light. Now, I would imagine this was quite early on in his stay in Germany. He looks like he's got a corporal stripe on there. And I meant to look up the exact date of when he was made corporal, but I didn't get a chance. But so I might tell you next week when I think those photographs were taken. Now, let's have a look at this poll. Oscars for Elvis. Snub reality check. None needed to validate the movie. And that surprised me, actually. That really has surprised me because, believe it or not, 51% have said it's a snub. 38% said none needed to validate the movie. And only 10% have said it was a reality check. So over half of us are feeling snubbed. And I would have actually gone for none needed to validate the movie. That's what I would personally have voted. Because personally, I think that had they won one Oscar or all 8, it wouldn't have made any difference to me. And I don't think it would have made any difference to Elvis's legacy. Elvis is as big now as he's always been, and he will continue to be. That's for sure. This hour and or so has flown by again. And they always say time flies when you're having fun. Thanks to all the callers. Thanks to Lou Dane and Dave for moderating for me. Thanks very much, guys. I couldn't do it without you. We're back to the same time next week because we're moving our clocks next Sunday. Don't forget, happy St. Patrick's Day. Please, if you do think that I'm doing a good job and I need it, you can buy me a few beers by going to buy me a coffee. And until next Sunday, take care and I'll see you then.
Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night.